You're still watching Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. Of course, today is International UN Day for Families, and we are having a conversation concerning how to communicate and resolve conflict in marriages. Yes, you need communication. I mean, this is linked to marriages, right? To family. And to have this conversation, I have a legal practitioner by training, a marriage counselor by choice or by passion. Her name is Elizabeth Ishola, and she's here to talk to us, teach us how to communicate properly. I mean, how to also resolve conflicts in marriages and in family by extension. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here this morning.
You look very gorgeous.
Thank you. And you look very pretty yourself.
Thank you. Welcome. So
Thank
today
you.
is UN International Day for Family, and coincidentally, we are having this conversation about how to resolve, how to communicate. So why do couples who've been in love with each other yet they don't know how to communicate? Why? And this lack of knowing how to communicate now results to conflict. Why?
Thank you very much. When it comes to love, love is not the only answer to marriage.
Love is not the only answer.
Yes, it's not. It's not what will sustain a marriage. There are certain things that sustain marriages, and one of them is good or effective communication. In fact, for me, communication is what the blood is to human body in a relationship. If communication is intact, that relationship, that marriage will never be anemic. So some of the reasons why people still have conflicts despite the fact that they are in love with each other is because one, some of them are not trained to know how to communicate.
But we have couples that are not talking type. They don't talk so much. I mean, they're just there. They do the yes and no response. And how would you handle such?
Well, when it comes to communication, it has to, the final result of communication is understanding. So if you're just saying yes, no, the question is, at the end of the day, does your partner understand your yes or your no?
No.
Because most times, the reason people have conflict is that there is no understanding. And if you're able to have good communication skills, which can be learned, yes, it can be learned. So if you're having issues of communication in your relationship, you should try to train yourself to be able to communicate better. Many of the things you see people do, they were not born with them. They learned to be better at them. So if you want your marriage to thrive, to be healthy, one of the things you must truly be conscious and be intentional about is good communication skills. So the reason these people are clashing, despite the fact that there is love, is because they don't know how to express their emotions. They don't know how to bring it to the table. And before you know it, there's that misunderstanding and conflict will thrive.
So how do you communicate well when you're angry? Someone obviously has offended you and you have the right to express yourself. How do you then communicate wisely or calmly despite that you're angry?
Well, when it comes to anger, people express anger in different ways. So if your anger is the type that is very wild and all of that, it still goes back to the fact that I said you should train. You should be able to calm yourself, calm down, take a deep breath. Sometimes pray. Pray simple prayers like, God, help me.
Help me.
Simple prayers like that, and you'll be shocked at how much you can be helped. Take a deep breath, and if possible, tell your partner that, can we talk about this later when I feel calmer? It's easier.
Some don't even have the grace to say that to their spouse when they're angry.
Yeah, and it's still, it's not only when you get angry that you should explain yourself to your spouse.
Okay.
Even before you come to that position where you don't know what to say, your partner should know. That's why I tell young people before they get married, try and ask questions. Your time of engagement, courtship should not be the time of holding hands, necking only. It should be the time of asking questions. Okay, when you are angry, what do you usually do? What do you want someone to do for you when you are upset? All of these little things will help build that relationship. So when you come to that crossroad, you will know what to do with yourself.
Okay, so what's the difference between hearing, listening, and communicating at the same
Okay.
time?
Now, when you talk about hearing, hearing is sound. You know, any sound is physical. It's physical. But when it comes to understanding, when it comes to listening, sorry, listening at the end of the day should have understanding. So if you're listening, you be intentional. You want to know the heart of the person talking to you. But when it comes to hearing, what you want to do is to quickly arrange your response. Once you start hearing,
Mm.
you are planning your defense. You are planning what to say next to the person. So at the end of the day, communication is not complete. But if you are the type that is settled and you're listening, you are trying to see the heart. You're trying to empathize to know at the end of the day, what is this person trying to tell me? So when you come to that place where you understand what they're trying to tell you, you will give the appropriate response. But if you are the type that is just hearing, you are preparing your defense. Oh, I know what to say to this person. I know what you are saying. I will give it to you. When you see people saying such things in
Mm.
their mind, I will give it to you today. You know that you're in trouble. So I pray that we all come to that place where we listen to understand, because that is what communication is about.
Let's talk about body languages in communication, the tone. It seems the tone is a big deal when, all right, you're trying to be calm, but it's as if you're not calm enough because of the tone is, well, I say, is sabotaging your calmness. How do you handle all of this?
Yeah, because when it comes to communication, the truth is that your words are just about 33%, the words you speak. But
33%.
yes, because at the end of the day, your tone, your facial expression, and other things, your gestures, your gesticulations,
Mm.
all of it counts more.
Than
Because,
your
yes,
words.
more than your words, because
Really?
action speaks louder than words. So when it comes to communication, you must you watch out for the tone. Most people watch out for the tone
Hmm.
more than what you are saying. So if your tone and your words don't align, then
What
communication
about
is
when
not
you're
complete.
angry? You're obviously angry and you've tried your best to give it a normal tone and they're still complaining of the tone. How do you handle that?
Then you should see a marriage counselor and get trained on how to manage your anger.
So
That's
what's
another
the give
issue.
us a practical example of the tone someone your husband or your wife offended you and you don't want to raise your voice. What tone would you use to communicate that it will be seen as being effective?
Okay, maybe a little advice. If you're angry, one of the best things to do is to take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Pause. Yeah,
Does
take
it
a deep,
work?
it does. It does. The body will just calm down.
Um,
So you take a deep breath, breathe in. You can even breathe in and count. Yeah, you breathe out slowly. Then by the time you do that for a while, the next word that will come out of your mouth will not be so hurtful and so aggressive as at when you did not do anything like that. Yeah.
okay. So, well, some people, some I think African cultures or Nigerian culture believe that you don't just talk too much. I mean, some people believe or prefer to maintain their silence. Does that create a bigger problem?
Yes. So for me, silence creates a bigger problem.
What about if it's your method of expressing your anger?
Okay, the reason why it creates a bigger problem is because when you keep silent in a relationship, when instead of talking, instead of communicating, you choose silence. What you're doing is that at the end of the day, it will begin to breed more problems. It will cause content. It will bring more anger. Anger will get bigger.
Hmm.
Misunderstanding will increase. Do you know why? Because silence, what you're doing is that you are shoving it down the carpet. It does not heal anything. And if it heals, it's temporarily. Silence will leave the problem temporarily. The after effect of that silence is explosion, because something
Hmm.
can happen one day, and those things you've been quiet about, you will just explode. Another issue with it is that as the years go by, for those that are always silent, because I've handled cases of couples that the woman chose silence over communication. And what did this what did it did to them over the years is that it began to build bridge between them. So after some years, they stopped seeing each other.
Oh,
So understanding disappeared. A lot of troubles came
communication
in.
disappear.
Communication disappeared because no talking.
Hmm.
So it built that bridge that they don't see each other anymore. And when you don't see each other anymore, you don't hear each other anymore, the marriage is dying, the relationship is dying. So silence is not the best option when there is an issue. You should give it time. For me, I could even choose, okay, maybe 3 a.m. in the night. I can wake my spouse and say, come, excuse me, there's something we need to talk about. So instead of being silent over it for months, for years, look for a good time that you can talk about it.
Okay, it's a good place to take a break. When we return, she's still here to talk more. I'm sure you're learning and unlearning at the same time. Please grab a seat. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back shortly. Welcome back from that breather. We are still here talking about communication and conflict resolution in marriages, in relationship, and marriage counselor Elizabeth Ishola is still here talking to us. If you're the person that uses silence, raise your hands up. She said it will create a bigger problem in the relationship. So there's no point keeping silence. Learn to communicate. Ma'am, I would like you to share with us what are the top three communication mistakes people make in
Oh,
marriages.
when it comes to communication mistakes, the top three, let me say, number one is saying things that are hurtful.
Oh, things that are
Yes,
hurtful.
saying words that are hurtful, words, because when you say those hurtful words, it takes time for one to
To
heal.
hear.
So using very hurtful words, like, saying things like, you're just like your mother, you're just like your father, you are wicked, hurtful words, it takes time for one to heal. Then another communication mistake is using absolute words like always, every time, you're always,
Doing
because
this.
once you say that, the person will want to defend themselves. So using those words will always cause trouble. Another issue with communication is, let's say, refusing to be honest with your communication. If you refuse to say the truth or express your feelings exactly how it is, you will miscommunicate. And at the end of the day, there's nothing to gain from it.
So what should the person rather use instead of using absolute word?
Instead of using absolute words, you should use words like, this hurts me. You should
Oh,
bring it to you instead of,
personalize it.
yes, you personalize it instead of attacking the person. So come to the issue. This issue hurts me. Instead of saying, you are
Always
always doing
doing
this,
this.
you're always coming late, you're always insulting me, you're
Hmm.
always, instead, go to the issue. Don't attack the person. Go to the issue. This thing hurts
Hurts
me.
me. Straight
And
up.
that makes more sense.
Okay, we're trying to wrap up this conversation. Now, to a person that has chosen silence instead of speaking out, perhaps because when he or she speaks, it might bring hurtful words. What advice do you have and general communication issue as to wrap up this very conversation?
Okay, my advice to that person out there that has chosen silence, I want you to know that as time goes on, silence will breed um, resentment. Silence will breed resentment. Silence will breed more anger because that person will keep doing that thing to you and you will keep staying silent. So, my
Hmm.
first advice to you is to try your best to speak up, even if you have to write it. Look for a way to speak up. And if you don't know how to go about it, then try and get a counselor. Reach out to a counselor to help you express those things that you want to express. Because the truth is that what is bothering you is the fact that you are not heard, you are not seen. Many times when you see conflict in relationship, it's not even that issue that they're talking about that is the issue. It's the fact that the person feels unappreciated, unheard, unseen, unloved. So you need to get in touch with help, get help to help you resolve those issues. Those are
And for
my little
someone
advice
listening right
to
now that
you.
is struggling with one relationship issue or the other, what's the message? 30 seconds.
You're struggling for with your relationship, my advice is still about the same thing. Get help. Get help. Don't die there. Get help. Because these things, as time goes on, can affect your emotional health, affect your mental health. It can mess you up. So don't just stay there quiet. Get help.
Thank you very much for coming on the show this
Mhm.
morning. I totally enjoyed this conversation, and of course, we keep learning. I've personally learned something this morning, and I appreciate your time on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.